So, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I really just want to talk about the topic. I also don't have an intro for YouTube, so let's just get right into it. Why did Ahsoka ask where Grand Admiral Thrawn is? To answer this question, we need to go back to the last time we saw Ahsoka timeline-wise. I'm not talking about the Clone Wars Season 7, timeline-wise, which means Star Wars Rebels. Also, if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, this video is going to have some major spoilers, but the show did end in 2018, so I'm just going to continue on. Ahsoka's last appearances timeline-wise are when she fought Vader on Malachor and at the end of Rebels with Sabine. In season 2 of Rebels, we get to see Ahsoka vs. Vader for the first time, and it ends in with what looks like Ahsoka walking to the temple on Malachor. Now, if you watch Star Wars Rebels, you know we didn't get to see Ahsoka all of season 3 and pretty much all of season 4 until one episode. We got to see Ahsoka again, and we got to see Ahsoka versus Vader for the second time. But this time there's a third party involved. Ezra Bridger is watching Ahsoka versus Vader from the world between worlds. But Ezra just doesn't watch, so he's not a bystander. He feels like he's a bystander until he reaches and pulls Ahsoka into the world between worlds, saving her life, which possibly could have ended at the hands of Vader. They have a brief interaction with the Emperor, and the Emperor tries to catch them, and they escape, and they have a brief conversation about you know Ezra and his situation and what just happened with his master. But eventually, Ezra places her back on Malachor in the part of the timeline that he pulled her from. Also, at this time, Ahsoka says she will find Ezra when she feels like she needs to. So why is this important? As I explained kind of briefly, Ezra saved Ahsoka's life. Now, the last person Ezra was with was Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, Ezra and Thrawn were on a Star Destroyer fighting on Lothal. Ezra is making a big sacrifice play. He sacrifices himself for his friends, and ultimately throughout the show we learn that his friends are really his family. So Ezra goes to this big heroic thing. He basically, he sacrifices himself. He goes to the Star Destroyer all by himself, and he uses the Force to call on Purgles, which are just creatures, are big kind of like I don't really know. They're just kind of big creatures from the Star Wars universe, and they can actually go into hyperspace. So what Ezra does is he makes the hero play, the sacrifice play. He goes onto the Star Destroyer ground with Thrawn. They have their confrontation, and Ezra calls onto the Purgles, and basically he makes them throw him and Thrawn into the unknown pretty much. We don't really know where they went. So in season 4 of Rebels, not only did Ezra save Ahsoka, he also saved his friends and families, and that includes Sabine. Ahsoka's other appearance is with Sabine at the end of Rebels season 4. Now the reason that I'm kind of putting these two things together is because Sabine at the end says she's learned what Ezra was talking about, and it wasn't just to protect Lothal. Ezra wanted Sabine to find him. So as soon as she says that, though, the screen kind of pans to where we get to see Ahsoka in like this white robe with his staff, and you just put two and two together. It's obvious that those two are looking for Ezra Bridger. So to put it kind of simply, Ahsoka asks Morgan about Thrawn because she's searching for Ezra Bridger, and they're still searching for Ezra Bridger. So this episode of The Mandalorian has possibly opened an even bigger story than we originally thought. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Those are just my thoughts on the situation. Basically, she's asking about Thrawn because she's still looking for Ezra. Would you be interested to see Ezra or Sabine in The Mandalorian? Would you be interested to see Thrawn in The Mandalorian? I really don't have much more to talk about. That was kind of my thoughts on the topic, and I know some Star Wars fans probably already knew this. This is kind of just for the Star Wars fans who didn't, and some of the general audience, and just the people who were kind of curious on why Ahsoka was looking for Thrawn. I don't really know what's gonna go in the background. It's probably just gonna be some like Battlefront 2 gameplay or something. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe I'll see you again.